The Mets appear to be out on Pete Alonso, as reports note the two sides aren't close on reaching an agreement, and New York expecting Alonso to go elsewhere in free agency. But now it seems the Mets have their eyes on a replacement, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy's name has been in trade talks for a while now, as he's set to reach free agency after the 2025 season, and the Blue Jays so far have failed to meet Guerrero's desired price tag. Earlier this offseason, Vladdy made news for rejecting a $340 million contract extension offered by Toronto, and insiders have said that Vlad is giving the Blue Jays until spring training begins to sign him long-term, or else he'll go forward into free agency at the end of the year. And I've talked about this at length. I think the Jays would be foolish not to get a deal done here. Vladdy, much like Juan Soto this offseason, will hit free agency at a very young age. He'll be just 26 years old, which heavily increases his value when teams are preparing decade-long contract offers. Vlad Jr. has been fantastic to this point in his career. His 2021 breakout season, in which he clubbed 48 long balls with a 1,000 OPS, marked him as a superstar. And although the numbers dipped a bit the following seasons, Vlad's batted ball data showed that he was still hitting the ball just as well. It just didn't always land. However, those numbers would spike once more in 2024, where he was really every bit as good as he was in 2021. Just with a couple less homers. Vlad seems to have found his sweet spot in terms of launch angle and has improved his plate discipline skills significantly. Vladdy hits the ball as hard as anyone else, swings his bat as fast as anyone else, and utilizes his elite bat control skills to pepper hits to all parts of the diamond while still maintaining his raw power to torch balls over the wall. Yes, Vladdy is a first baseman, and that position inherently holds less value than others, and historically has yielded weaker contract offers. But Vlad is truly a special hitter, one of the best in the game today, and I believe he's just now reaching his prime. So that being said, what would Vlad cost if the Jays decided to trade him? And is there good reason for Toronto to unload their star prematurely? Well, since Vlad has just 1 year left on his contract, it won't cost the entire farm to get him, but it will still be expensive. Again, making a link between Vlad and Soto, the Padres dealt their star alongside Trent Grisham last winter in exchange for Michael King, Johnny Brito, Kyle Higashioka, Drew Thorpe, and Randy Vasquez. All in all, that was a fairly hefty price tag for what ended up being a 1 year rental of Juan Soto. Now, I don't think Vlad would command quite as much as that trade package, but it would likely cost the Mets a couple of their high-ticketed prospects alongside paying the $28.5 million Vlad is set to earn in his final arbitration year. Vladdy would absolutely be an upgrade to that Mets roster, who right now is without a solid plan at first base. But it may be a difficult pill to swallow if they burn a couple top guys in their farm for 1 year of Vlad. Although we know the Mets have the willingness to fork over the money for a guy like Vlad if he wants to extend there long term. Ultimately, for Toronto, it comes down to their ownership. Are they willing to spend the money necessary to keep a guy like Vlad Guerrero Jr.? As all signs point to Vladdy enjoying playing for the Blue Jays. The team has struggled financially in recent years, and that does seem to contribute to the Jays being hesitant on paying Vladdy's price. If Mark Shapiro and Rogers Communications decides they cannot afford him, I do think it would be wise to trade Vladdy. The package they'd receive will be more valuable than the comp balanced draft choice they'd get for Vlad declining a qualifying offer. The Blue Jays are in a tough spot. They've got a roster that theoretically could be capable of competing, but injuries and playing in the tough AL East proves challenging. But it's very clear to me that Toronto's best chance at success is having Vlad Jr. in a Blue Jay uniform for years to come. The fans deserve to see a good on-field product, and tearing that roster down would begin a long and dark road to rebuilding that team into a winner.